AM 630, Washington's Mall, WMAL.
Now, Washington mornings on the Mall.
105.9
And AM 630.
WMAL.
7:37 on WMAL. Brian Neiman, Wayne Wilson back in the house after a week off in China. We get to hear about that story coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. Can't wait to do it. Herman Cain joins us now, of course, former presidential candidate for the Republicans and leader of today's Cain revolution on the Hill today. Herman Cain, good morning. Thanks for coming on the show.
Good morning, guys. Did you all change your birth certificate so you could say Brian and Brian in the morning?
No, it's always... It's
always been that way?
I spell my name with the I, the proper way. He spells his the improper way with a Y.
Happy to be with you guys. Good morning.
Good. How you been?
I've been fantastic. We've got our Revolution on the Hill today, and everybody's invited to come. It's going to be from 1 to 3 at Senate Park up on Capitol Hill. You won't be able to miss it because there'll be a few thousand people up there. Here's basically what we're trying to send a message to Congress about. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired of politics as usual, and we want to replace the tax code. The United States Senate today is going to vote on the Buffett rule. Mm-hmm. It is a dumb, stupid rule. And this is the kind of stuff that they keep doing for political theater that the American people are just sick of. And so that's one of the reasons we're having this revolution on the Hill today.
Your point is that this is never going to actually pass the House and Senate.
Correct.
And never land on the president's desk for signature, that this is all a big political game just for the issue.
Exactly. Even if it passed, it would have to pass the House, which it won't. The president would have to sign it. And it will do nothing to help the economy. It will do nothing to reduce the deficit. It is just another political ploy on the part of the Democrats so they can say when the Republicans voted down that, well, the Republicans were for the rich and against the poor. Mm-hmm. It is just the same old political you-know-what that the American people are sick of.
Well, I don't know if you heard or not, but Joe Biden the other day, and I predicted this, is now calling it the Romney Rule. And the president called it the Reagan Rule last week as well, using his quote that Ronald Reagan used. Of course, he was for tax reform as well, but now they're out calling it the Romney Rule, which shows you that it will be used to attack Mitt Romney and to say, hey, rich people, Mitt Romney is one of them, doesn't understand the plight of everyday Americans.
You're absolutely right. And here's the thing about it. It's going to backfire. I've learned, because I've been traveling across the country, even though I'm no longer a candidate, I'm still on a mission. The American people are not as stupid as the Democrats think. And if you believe all of that rhetoric coming from Biden and the president and the Democrats, you fall into that clueless category that I talk about. People are waking up to the political shenanigans of this administration, and that's all what this is about.
Let's talk a little bit about some reflections upon your run and the current state of the race. Mitt Romney now appears to be the guy who will be the nominee. Would you call him the presumptive nominee at this point?
Yes, I would. I'd call him the presumptive nominee for two reasons. Number one, the numbers are on his side. He has more than 50% of the delegates already committed. And secondly, that would have to be a wholesale have to be a wholesale change in what the delegates do at the convention in order for him not to get the nomination. So he is the presumptive nominee at this point.
All right. So how do you feel about that? Are you able to support Mitt Romney completely?
Yes, I am. And here's why. Because Mitt Romney, with all of the criticism that the administration has thrown at him, with all of the criticism that other opponents during the Republican primary have thrown at him, he is still better than Barack Obama. So I will support Mitt Romney, and one of the tasks that I have that I'm committed to as part of this revolution on the Hill and meeting with some key leaders is we've got to get over the past differences because Mitt Romney will be 200 times better than Barack Obama.
So what would you say in that regard to one Newt Gingrich right now?
To Newt Gingrich, I would say, Speaker Gingrich, with all due respect, let's get on with this, okay? He made a great run. I even endorsed Newt Gingrich at one point because I thought that he had a shot. Well, not now. He doesn't have a shot. So I would say to Newt, let's go ahead and clean this up so we can start focusing on defeating Barack Obama in November.
All right, you're absolutely right about the Romney Rule or whatever they were going to call it now, the Buffett Rule. It's never going to pass. But can Republicans? I mean, there's no major tax reform is going to pass during this Congress, right? Are we going to have to wait until 2013 before we have real change in the tax code?
Yes, we are. We're going to have to wait till 2013. 2012 is the 99th birthday of the IRS tax code. On its 100th birthday, Brian, I want to give the tax code a gift. Bye-bye. It's time for us to get rid of this stupid, insane, the worst code in the world. So, yes, it's not going to pass in this Congress. This is why I'm still promoting my 999 plan. Now, let me give you a little tidbit of information that you don't hear on the mainstream media. Under the current tax code, Warren Buffett makes the statement that he pays less in taxes than his secretary.
Right.
There's a couple of reasons for that. One, he pays the secretary $200,000 a year. He pays himself $100,000 a year, and all of his wealth is tied up in Berkshire Hathaway. Congratulations. I'm not envious of that. But under the 999 plan, Warren Buffett would pay $200 million a year every year in taxes because of the percentage of ownership he has in Berkshire Hathaway. That's the dirty little secret that the president and the administration aren't talking about if they're trying to push this phony Buffett rule.
Let me ask you this. Everybody complains about how confusing the tax code is, and there's no doubt about that. But are Americans, do they want a simpler tax code, or they just want to pay less in taxes? You know what I mean? Are they willing to go through all the hoops and stuff that you got to go through with, TurboTax or whatever, hiring somebody to do it, as long as they're not paying, through a huge amount of money? Are they okay with that?
No, they want both. And guess what? You can get both with 999. 999 lowers everybody's tax rate. Everybody's. Because we expand the base with a corporate tax component, the first 9, personal income tax component, the second 9, and the third component would be the national sales tax. Some people are afraid of that because it gives the politicians another way to tax us. The structure doesn't raise taxes. Politicians do. And because it is so simple and so fair, the American people will be able to hold their feet to the fire. So 999, Brian, accomplishes both. It causes everybody to pay less in taxes, except for the Warren Buffetts of the world, I might add. And it also is simpler, and people feel much better with a simpler tax code that they can understand.
Real quick, we just got a little bit of time. You're looking forward, and I appreciate that. But as you look back over your campaign, what do you think the lessons that you learned?
The biggest lesson I learned is that politics can get in the gutter, and that was the part that I wasn't prepared for. I was prepared for hard work. I was prepared for attacks. I was prepared to defend my ideas and my solutions. But when it got into the gutter and some people fabricated false accusations, that part I was not prepared for.
All right. Herman Cain, we appreciate you joining us here on WMAL.
My pleasure. Thank you.